Let's now talk about combining like terms. This is one of the more important topics when we're beginning algebra class, so it's really important that you are comfortable with this. Like means it's an adjective, okay? It's describing the type of term, all right? These are not terms that you just happen to like a lot yourself. They have a specific mathematical meaning. Like means the same variables or combination of variables in a term, or it's just a constant. And in that case, it has the same variables because there are no variables if it's just a constant. You combine these like terms to simplify in an expression or equation. And I should add here that you just add or subtract coefficients. That's really what we're doing here. We're just adding or subtracting coefficients, okay? And the variables get brought along for the ride. So let's look at a couple of examples. 2x plus 5y plus 9x. Well, if you notice, I have an x term here and an x term here. So they are like. They are like. And so I can combine them. And since I have 2x plus 9x, I can combine them and get 11x, and then I just bring down the 5y because I can't do anything to it. Okay, 11x plus 5y. So there is our solution to that one. Negative 6k plus 7k. Well, negatives, these are like because they're both k terms, there and there. So negative 6 plus 7 would give me a positive 1. So I really have a positive 1k, but I don't have to write positive 1. I can just write k. So there's my solution to that one, just k. N minus 10 plus 9n minus 3. Well, we've got a few different things that are like here. We've got an n, which is really, by the way, which is really just a positive 1n, right? So we have an n and a 9n. And then we have a negative 10 and a negative 3. Now, the blue terms are like because they're both n terms. The red terms are both like because they're both constants. Okay, they don't have any variables, so they are like each other in that way. So when we deal with the blue, we've got plus 1 and plus 9. That's going to give us a 10n. And when we deal with the red, a negative 10 and a negative 3 is going to give us a minus 13. So there is our solution to that one. 12r plus 5 plus 3r minus 5. So again, those are like, and these are like. Okay? And if you notice here, the red terms, plus 5 and minus 5, well, those are just going to go away when I combine them. They're just going to go away. So when I combine the blue terms, 12r and 3r, I get 15r. And really, I could write a plus 0, but really, I don't even have to. And so there is my solution to that. Now, just for fun, I have a few extra examples to do that are a little bit more interesting. So let's look at some other examples that are a little bit more interesting. Okay? So, okay, example. Negative 5n plus 3 times 6 plus 7n. Okay, so notice what I've got here. Okay? Notice what I've got. I've got 3 times a bunch of stuff here. and that is times. We don't have to write that, but we know that's times. And so we know that we can distribute, right? We can distribute this 3, and we can go there, and we can go there. So the negative 5n we aren't doing anything with yet. 3 times 6 is going to give me an 18, and 3 times 7 is going to give me a 21n. Now I can combine the negative 5 and the 21 because they're both n terms. So negative 5 plus 21 is going to give me a 16. It's a positive 16n. And then I still have my plus 18 because I can't do anything to that. Okay? Here's another example. Negative 4 plus 7 times 1 minus 3m. Okay? So again, I see that I can distribute here because I've got 7 times 2 different things. And so I need to distribute there and there. And I'm going to have negative 4. 7 times 1 is just as plus 7. 7 times negative 3 is going to give me a minus 21m. And now I have 2 like terms here. Negative 4 plus 7 is going to give me a plus 3. And I can't do anything to that 21m. What about negative 2n minus the quantity 9 minus 10n? Now, really, this looks like I'm subtracting a big group, which is what I am. But it also can be thought of as distributing a negative sign, because if I'm subtracting both of these things here, if I'm subtracting the 9 and subtracting the negative 10n, I'm really just subtracting that, and I'm subtracting this negative, which is going to make this become a positive. You can also think of it as like I'm distributing a negative 1 there. And so negative 1 times 9 and negative 1 times negative 10. And this negative times negative is going to make that a positive. So I'm not doing anything to that yet. That's going to make that a negative 9, and that's going to make that a plus 10n. Whenever you're distributing a negative sign, and I'm going to pull this out just to make it clear so that it doesn't get confusing here. So when you are distributing a negative sign like this, really all you're doing is you're just going through in the parentheses and you're just changing all of the signs. So notice that the 9 was a positive, it becomes negative. The 10n was negative, it becomes positive. So now I'm just combining these like terms here, and negative 2 plus 10 is going to give me an 8n minus 9. I can't do anything with that minus 9, so I just bring it down. Okay. Last problem. Negative 10 times the quantity 1 minus 9x plus 6 times the quantity x minus 10. Okay, so we've got two distributions to deal with here, there and there, and there and there. Okay, so negative 10 times 1 is negative 10. Negative 10 times negative 9 is going to be a positive 90x. And here we're going to have 6 times x is a positive 6x. And 6 times minus 10 is minus 60. So we've got these are like, and then these are like. Okay? So, and usually we write the x term first in math, so I'm going to do this first. So 90x plus 6x is 96x. And then minus 10 minus 60 is just going to be a negative 70.